All right, let's jump right in. Inside you, right now, you've got the most sophisticated supercomputer on the entire planet. I mean, it manages everything from your heartbeat to your every thought, and you don't even have to think about it. Today, we're going to take a tour of that incredible machine, your nervous system.
But how does this unbelievably complex piece of biological hardware actually work? How does it manage to process trillions of bits of data every single second just to create your reality? That's the huge question we're going to break down in this explainer.
Well, at the very heart of it all is the central nervous system, or CNS for short. You can think of it just like our source material says. It's the central command, the main hard drive. It's where all the big decisions get made, where all the really important processing happens.
Now, the entire system is very elegantly split into two main parts. On one hand, you have the central nervous system. That's the brain and spinal cord, which acts as the main headquarters. And then you have the peripheral nervous system, which is this huge, sprawling network of nerves that connects that HQ to every single part of your body.
Okay, so let's start by exploring that central headquarters, shall we? What exactly is going on inside the brain and the spinal cord?
What's just fascinating is how the brain's cortex is organized. It's like a big company with specialized departments, or lobes. Your frontal lobe? That's the CEO. It's what you're using when you plan your day or decide to speak. Your parietal lobe is like your internal GPS, handling all the sensory info and helping you know where you are in a room. The occipital lobe is the graphics card, processing all the shapes and colors you see. And your temporal lobe? Well, that's what's decoding these very words right now and filing them away into memory.
And of course, the brain is famously split into two hemispheres. And while they're always working together, they definitely have their specialties. The left side is kind of like your in-house analyst. It handles logic, analysis, and cold, hard facts. The right side, on the other hand, is your artist. It deals with intuition, emotion, and seeing the world in 3D.
So if the brain is the command center, the spinal cord is the main data superhighway that connects it to the rest of the body. It is the absolutely critical link for all the communication that's constantly flowing in and out.
And it's really important to get this. That highway has traffic going in both directions. You've got motor pathways coming down from the brain carrying commands, things like lift your arm. And then you've got sensory pathways sending information up to the brain, like, hey, that stove is hot.
So we've covered the central command, but how does it actually talk to and control the rest of the body? Well, that's where the peripheral nervous system comes in.
This massive network is also split in two. You have the somatic system, which is all the stuff you consciously control. Walking, talking, picking up a cup of coffee. And then you have the autonomic system. It's the silent partner, running all the automatic stuff in the background you never ever have to think about.
And this autonomic system is really something else. It's like having two different automatic pilots that can take over depending on the situation. They're constantly balancing your body between a state of rest and a state of high alert.
The first pilot is your sympathetic system. You've definitely heard of this one. It's your fight or flight mode. Whenever you face a stressful situation, this system just kicks into high gear, getting your body ready for immediate, intense action.
The second pilot is the parasympathetic system. This is your rest and digest mode. So when the danger is gone and it's time to calm down, this system takes the controls, handling all the body's housekeeping and recovery work.
And you can see this perfect balancing act between them all the time. When the sympathetic system says, go, your heart rate speeds up. When the parasympathetic system says, okay, chill, it slows back down. One shuts down digestion to save energy for a crisis, while the other gets it going again. It's this beautiful, perfect push and pull.
But what happens when this incredibly complex system gets damaged? Well, it has a secret weapon, an almost unbelievable ability to physically repair and rewire itself. Now, here's the catch, and it's a big one. Unlike your skin or bone cells, most of your neurons are amatotic. That means they don't divide to create new cells and heal. So if they can't replicate, how on earth does the brain recover from an injury? It seems impossible, right?
Well, it does it through reorganization. It's amazing. First, the surviving nerve cells start doing something called axon sprouting. They literally grow new endings to try and reach out and connect. Then comes reactive synaptogenesis, which is just a fancy way of saying they form brand new connections, or synapses, to replace the ones that were lost. And finally, the cells that are left actually increase their own sensitivity to make the most of every little signal they can still get.
And on a bigger scale, the brain uses some incredible strategies.
Yeah, it can directly repair some circuits, but it can also do something called substitution, where an underused part of the brain actually learns to take over the job of a damaged part. Or it just finds clever ways to bypass the damage completely to get the signal through. It is an absolute master of the workaround.
So all this leaves us with a final, really powerful thought. Your nervous system isn't just some static machine. It's a dynamic, living network that is capable of physically changing and adapting. So if your brain can literally rewire itself to overcome damage, what does that say about its true potential?